Hey y'all, and welcome back to Cajun Country Living. This week, Jim is insanely busy at work, so a lot of this stuff is gonna fall on me this week. So y'all are stuck with me. He'll be back next week for more videos, but this week, this is all you get, and maybe an appearance by our 2-foot time. So one of the things that I can do on my own is gonna be tackling this electrical. Whenever it actually comes to hooking it in our box, I'm gonna leave that up to me and Jim. But running this wire in this almost 4,000 square foot home is gonna be a huge project to tackle. I actually had started in Ladley's bedroom. So let me show y'all how I was kind of going about it, and let me tell y'all about a way that I am gonna change what I'm doing. So when it comes to drilling the holes for your electrical, there are probably a lot of rules that you're supposed to be following in your code in your area. It's a puzzle of how you want the room to be laid out. So it actually has a lot of options. So the way that I did Ladley's bedroom, for example, you could come in here and probably wire it 10 different ways. It's all about your personal preference and what's gonna be easier for you. So the one thing that you do wanna do for sure is put all of your electrical at the same height. This is just gonna help you in the future whenever you decide to hang something on the wall, or if you have to go in and do some work on your house. You're gonna know that all the rooms and all the areas that your electrical is run, it's gonna be at the exact same height. So what I chose to use as my height tool was this right angle. I just decided that I was gonna put it on the floor and I was gonna mark right here, and then I just went through and drilled all my holes. Now, of course, by the switches, you're gonna have to, go up through the ceiling, and you're gonna have to go through your plier blocks and all that business to tie it together. But for the most part, where the electrical is gonna be run, it's all gonna be at this 24 inches. So here's my new method. So I know I talked to y'all about both my parents being contractors, so I was raised in a lot of this stuff. So I had actually called my dad the other day to talk to him about, an update on what we were doing, what was next, and he said, well, did you make a template? I said, well, I'm just gonna go ahead and use this right angle, blah, 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 like I told y'all. Well, he said, well, go ahead and make you a template, with the hole drilled. So shout out to Michael for telling me about this. So let me get into it. First thing that you're gonna wanna start off with is the height of what your electrical is gonna be ran at. So as y'all know, I had already been using this as my height, so this is what I'm gonna use. Whatever size your stud is what you're gonna wanna kind of stay close to whenever it comes to making this template. I'm gonna start by putting this at the very bottom, and I'm gonna measure up to here. So now that I've got my line here, I'm gonna come across and mark the middle. Now I'm gonna take my saw and actually cut this off with plenty of room where I can cut my hole. And I'm gonna cut this just shorter to make it easier on myself, because to me, the less material that you have, the easier it is gonna be to work. Now the next thing that I'm gonna do is take my mark that's in the center of this 2x4 and drill my hole just like it was a stud. Okay, so now, instead of having to put my right angle on the ground, mark, move on, what I'm gonna do is set this in here, like so, push this up against the edge. So at this point too, you have a few options. Now you can go ahead and mark inside here, your hole, take it down, then you have your hole. Or another option that you have is set it on here. You can take your drill, you can go ahead and put it inside this hole, and then you don't have to mark up anything. So now I've got it marked, and I can just go ahead and finish it up. There we have it. Check it with this up here, just like that. Perfect. So this is gonna be the method that I'm gonna be using today. I know that that might be some extra work for people, but I think for how big of a house that we decided to do, I think that this is gonna be extremely helpful for me. Anytime that I can save a little bit of time is very, very crucial because, as y'all know, we work on nap time and bedtime. So I don't know if y'all could tell yesterday or not, but I was really, really struggling to get these holes drilled. I had to put so much force behind it because I was using this type of paddle bit. Well, lo and behold, they actually make one that has the screw on the end of it. So hopefully this is gonna make my process a lot easier because yesterday I actually had to stop. This bit was getting so hot that it was causing the wood to smoke. Everything was getting way, way, way too close to catching on fire. So I quit and I'm gonna try this one out. These are not sponsored, but it's like the brand Hercules. So, I mean, with that kind of name, I think it'd be pretty good. So, all right, so I'm gonna try these out and hopefully today will go a little bit smoother and I can get a lot more done. That bit is like night and day. That Hercules brand is all that it's lived up to for sure in its name because I just zipped through about probably 6 holes in the time that I do one. So I don't really want to think about the time that I've wasted on all the other holes that I drilled, but at least now I know. Okay, so at this point I have Ladley's bedroom done, I have the master bathroom done, I have the other bathroom done. So that leaves the utility, that leaves the other bedroom, and that leaves our bedroom and closet. Now, whenever it comes to utility, we're gonna have to tie in like the dryer and the washer and all that, so I think I'm just gonna wait and hold off on that room since the box is actually in that room also. I think it's gonna be pretty simple to tie everything in. So I think I'm gonna shift over to the other bedroom and then I'm gonna hit our bedroom and hopefully I can start running some wire so I can finally get a little progress. Y'all can finally see what I'm doing. Because right now it probably just looks like I'm drilling a bunch of random holes. If I can get to that point, then it'll make a little bit more sense. And I think it might actually help me out too. So we have got a slight problem this morning. The inspector's on the job today. Lad found the horn apparently on that little car. So a decision that I thought about So something that I was thinking about last night was that I think I'm gonna go ahead and finish up this last bedroom, and then I am gonna go ahead and start wiring up the, I guess would be 1, 2, 3, 4 rooms that I have done. This way I can kind of get an idea of what I'm looking at, and that will just leave our bedroom and the utility room, which we actually haven't put the outlets in the utility room yet because we didn't know, like I talked about a few minutes ago for y'all, a few days ago for me, what kind of hookups we needed for the dryer and all that. So if I get these 4 rooms finished, that would just be an absolute success for this week. So that's kind of the goal right now. I'm gonna finish up drilling these holes. I got the inspector on the job, so I'm definitely gonna have to follow all the code, of course. And I will see y'all in a few minutes. Oh, Lord, child. Good place for those, huh? Hey, what sound does a monkey make? Oh, huh. Hey, you want to let Gus in the house while Dada's not here? And don't tell Dada, okay? You just need a friend to play with. Huh. Lad. Okay, so I would say we can blame this on Gus, but Gus isn't even supposed to be in here. So I think this one's on you. Oh, sister girl. And this is example 15 of why we work on nap time. Okay, so coming over to this box, these are gonna be the places that I need to drill the last holes so that way I can start running the wire. The way that I think I'm gonna do this is get out those Hercules brand bits that I had and just pick out the biggest one, and then that way I can feed more than one wire through the holes and not have an issue of trying to fit them in there. Reason 16 of why we work on nap time. So it's finally time to address the elephant in the room, which is 2 breaker boxes in our house. So this is the one that we originally put in. It is a 20 space, 200 amp breaker box, but we read comment after comment after comment saying that this is gonna be way too small for how big our house is. So with y'all's advice, we put in a 40 space, 200 amp breaker box. Now, what Jim's gonna do with this breaker box is we're actually gonna put it upstairs, and it is gonna be where we can flip the switch, simple as that, to be able to run our actual solar panels. So we're actually gonna put this one upstairs. There's gonna be a closet that hides this one in this corner, but if we put this upstairs, then it's gonna be easier to tie in all the solar panel connections. So this does seem like it's gonna be the better option for us. It is gonna be, we're probably gonna be happy in the long run that we decided to do this because it is a lot larger. Each room can have its own spot, and we're not gonna run into any issues about running out of room. So I'm gonna get to drilling our holes. Officially come time to start the wire process. I was gonna tell y'all it's about time to get serious, but that's clearly not what we do on this channel. We're not serious. Should we be about some things? Probably. Okay, so the room that I chose to start in is gonna be going back to the first room that I had drilled in, which is gonna be Ladley's bedroom. I just have it in my mind, right? I don't know if there's a certain way that you're supposed to start on these. To me, it's like personal preference, whichever one you wanna do. Don't quote me on that. Actually, probably don't quote me on this entire video, but if you wanna follow my advice, here we go. So the first thing I'm gonna do is take this wire and I'm going to run it from the switch. So picture a tree, okay? Right here, a tree. Its roots all go all different directions, but it stems from one spot. That's how I envision this in my mind. For every single room has its own tree. So everything needs to all connect into one location. So normally that's by a light switch, which is where I'm gonna be using, let's call it our tree, and then I will branch out from there. So then I will start connecting from there and everything will feed back to that tree. That is probably like one of the most podunk ways to explain running electrical, but listen, it is a simple way for me to have it right in my mind, so whatever works, right? All right, so getting to this point, now that I have it ran from the bedroom all the way to the box, I don't know exactly where this is gonna be plugged in at in the box, if it's gonna be at the top, if it's gonna be at the bottom. And the way that you run the box is there's actually 3 different cords in here. So you're gonna cut this open and you're gonna run them in this kind of shape. So even if it is at the bottom, now this might have been a little bit of overkill, but I'd rather have a little bit more than I would a little bit less. So, you know, if we ran it at the very bottom, you really wouldn't have that much left over, but just a few inches. So I'll probably make the other one just a little bit shorter than this, but now I know kind of what to expect. And the other thing that I did not do is run it through the top of this box yet. I'm just bringing it down through the hole that I drilled, and I'm gonna label this wire and get the first cut done. So now I just went ahead and clipped them on to the side, and this is what it looks like. I went ahead and did the next one, which goes down the wall, cuts over into that box. And I'm currently working on this box. Good morning, everybody. This is going to be a really busy day for me. I'm going to try to finish up the rest of this electrical. So I have one more room in Ladley's bedroom to do, which she's hanging out right here. And I'm gonna move into the bathroom, which shouldn't take me long because there's not a whole lot of outlets. And then I'm gonna try to move back into this other spare bedroom. So if I get those completed, I will have 3 bedrooms completely done. Now, at the beginning of this video, I talked about really trying to get all the holes drilled in every single room and getting the electrical run. I think that might have been a little bit of an unrealistic goal, but it's always good to set your expectations high. And if you don't meet them, you know what, that's okay, because I still got so much done. So while I'm putting this wire in, I'm gonna give you all a little story that happened to me this morning. So as y'all know, Jim works and he got up early, and he's usually up before the sun even rises and gone. But this morning, Gus, our dog, was going crazy outside. Now he'll alert us to a rat, to another dog, to a snake. So I was thinking, you know, it's hatching season for snakes. I thought, well, he'll calm down in just a few minutes. It's nothing big, it's probably just a snake. Well, he kept on and kept on this morning. So, what do? I go outside and I see Gus. Now keep in mind, it is pitch black outside. So I got my flashlight and I see Gus and he's running over to the chicken coop, and I thought, something trying to get the chickens. You know, that's very common out here. We have a lot of wildlife that likes to get into the chickens. So Gus is going crazy, right? As dogs do. And I thought, well, there's probably nothing there still. So I'm shining the light into the woods right behind the chicken coop, looking around. I'm like, all right, well, you know, kind of following Gus with the light, thinking maybe he'll find something, or just kind of scaring it off more or less. Y'all, I shine that light, looking back this way, looking back right, and I stop, and right there, not even probably 10 feet from me, is a at least 300-pound hog. Now keep in mind, I'm from Illinois, and we don't really have hogs. Hogs kind of start in like Arkansas and further down. Keep in mind, I'm half awake at this point. So I shine that light. I thought, no way. I put that light down. I put that light back up, and that sucker is staring into my soul. So I turned that light off and I went right back inside. So we are awake early and we are ready to go, and that is the reason that we are so wide awake this morning, because that was an experience. Nothing like a 300-pound hog to wake you up in the morning. That's all I gotta say. And this is what it looks like in the morning. This is what it looks like in the morning. Still has their PJs on. No, but really, this is the difference that putting those clips on make. It really tightens it up and makes it look so much neater. So this is gonna complete Lad's bedroom.
There's no denying what we want. There's no denying what we want. Playing games, no. There's no denying what we want. There's no denying what we want. Playing games, no. There's no denying what we want. There's no denying what we want. Playing games, no. There's no denying what we want. There's no denying what we want.
Two down, two to go. All right, y'all. Well, thanks for hanging out with just me and Lad this week. Jim will be back next week, and y'all leave a comment and tell him how much you missed him, because I know that I sure did. Well, y'all make sure to hit that like and subscribe button so you can come back next week and see what the fourth room looks like. Now, we're going to get way more done than that. For now, we will have to catch y'all next week. So this week's shout out goes to Jerry Robinson from Illinois. He is a dear friend of our family, and he is probably hoping that I do not call him one more time this week. He is actually an electrician up in Illinois, and he has helped me through so many questions this week, and I am telling y'all, he definitely deserves this week's shout out. So thank you so much, Jerry, for all the help this week, and we will catch y'all next week. Bye, Cajun family.